Last night, CSGO got another update. But that one's boring, so today I'll study the map changes from last weekend. Starting with the least interesting, Train. The big news is that the pigeons at Ivy have been moved so they no longer give away to the CTs that a terrorist is nearby. They have been moved from the floor just here to outside the level, on the top of the train carriage here. The days when you could ride these things to escape the map are long gone. Valve, please fix. This ladder on B has been improved. To be fair, it seemed fairly good to me already, but I did find that if you looked directly down and climbed up while holding the walk button, you'd bounce about once you've reached the top. But this no longer happens. Valve did fix. And at the base of the ladder, this wall has gotten brighter with a splattering of white paint over what's clearly a temporary structure. And the rail above it appears to have been made bigger so it no longer needs to be propped up by an ugly block of wood. And just like with Overpass, this dumpster model has been updated to make its lighting better. Interestingly, its clipping has remained the same. Chlorine next, and they've gone and made a lot of the wall textures brighter. I guess because of the shallow angle of the lighting, it felt a bit like the whole map was in the shade before. So this should make it a more cheery place to be. And I have no idea what happened at CT spawn here, but there was a stone square floating above the ground, which has since been removed. Anubis has had its props draw distances along this water section extended. You can see that from near B, the other end of the level would fade out too soon, revealing the skybox beyond. It looks like they also added trims to the bottom of these windows, and they've widened the entrance. I saw a few lighting fixes, or at least changes to how the props at Bombsite A are lit. The banners on the pillars here have been removed. But other than that, I only found minor changes to prop placement and clip brushes. I'll show comparisons in the background while I talk about the other changes to the map. The bomb explosion radius has been upped from 400 to 450, so you'll take more damage and from further away than before. The radar now shows the correct spawn coordinates, and bots have been improved so they can now use drop-down areas. Jungle. It looks to me as though jungle has changed in many ways. It looks darker, the props more shaded, and there are shadows being cast from the larger trees. And there are various minor changes to the prop placements. You can see what I mean in these comparisons. More loot crates have been added to a few of the regions of the map. Wooden fences have been reworked to no longer have lots of holes in. And the collision mesh on the solar battery has been mended. The two big things are, this ladder bug has finally been fixed. This is something I've been pointed to time and time again since the map came out, and I was never able to see it for myself. But since it's been removed, I've been able to see it when revisiting older map versions. This floating ladder couldn't be climbed and wasn't solid. It's all a bit of a mystery, and now it's gone completely. Spooky. Oh, and a hut has been added to the foot of this large tower. Before it was a large open area of hills and trees, so the hut and its surrounding fences will provide more cover. I ran through it before and after in this video comparison here. And last we get to Vertigo. This map has had large gameplay and visual changes, best demonstrated by these comparison shots. Many of the metal props have been made brighter, a lot of the concrete textures have been remade. At Bombsite A, this wooden wall has been switched for a metal one, which will be harder to wallbang. I could penetrate it with any of the rifles, but you can forget about pistols or SMGs. I also noticed changes to the skybox. The old drawn-on clouds have been swapped for moving ones, but they've done away with that pretty distant haze, so you can see where the clouds suddenly disappear beyond the edges of the city. It wouldn't take much effort to make it into a positive change, but for now I've got mixed feelings about this skybox. Bombsite B has changed the most. Starting in middle, you can no longer hop through a gap in the wall into the site. This whole area has been made into a much simpler corridor route towards CT spawn. What you have instead is a stack that you can climb over just before you reach the CT spawn. Standing on top of this, you have a nice view into the bomb site. The only routes to the site now are the terrorist stairs and this spot here, which the CTs can approach from 3 slightly different angles. The site itself has been totally reworked and dropped 32 units down. These comparison shots show how much it's changed. If you didn't like this site before, it doesn't matter because it's no longer that site anymore. Like I said earlier, there's no hole in the wall from middle anymore, so this stairwell down into pit is the main route for terrorists now. I wonder if the 32 unit drop was done to get rid of falling damage, since it's now possible to fall from the site to pit without sustaining any damage at all. Again, the props and textures here have been reworked, but a picture is worth 1,000 words, so have a few pictures. And check out this! Even the terrorists' second approach to Bombsite B has been changed, which this video comparison will show nicely. This will make it easier to defend against attackers from the base of the stairs, since you no longer have to worry about attackers coming from the left. All in all, lots of changes. Yeah.